in reverse on your eyelids so you can see it when you sleep at night. People will forget what you said. Many times they will forget what you did. They will never forget how you made them feel. Okay? Every single one of you in this room is not here because of a voice in your head telling you how shitty your life is. You're not here because there's a picture in your head that's bugging you. You're here because there's a set of feelings that you want more of in your life and a set of feelings you want less of. Would that be true or not true? Exactly. Everything starts and goes back to feelings. How do we control our feelings? Control your body. Control the size and shape and location of the pictures below the threshold of conscious awareness, and you're well on your way. Then we have to be, now that's being self-aware. That's becoming aware of how our minds and bodies create our feelings and our experiences. But we have to take that awareness and we have to direct it outward. We have to see the people around us differently. We have to sort for different kinds of information. Information that has always been there. But because we're in our head, we're looking for our own checklist, we don't see them. How many people here have ever heard of a show called Lie to Me? Okay, if you haven't, go to Amazon, rent every season, curl up with a good book for the next 60 days, and go through every single one. And then when you're done with that, go look up Paul Ekman at paulekman.com. Paul Ekman is the world's leading authority on emotions and facial cues. Okay? He's also co-written several books on emotional control and various topics of managing emotions with the Dalai Lama. Not a bad guy to talk to about managing emotions, if you want to be a monk. The book I'm referencing, I'm going to tell you to go pick up, is called Emotions Revealed. The one he wrote with the Dalai Lama, I don't remember it off the top of my head. But the one I want you guys to get is Emotions Revealed. When I do my lie detection workshops, when I do my attraction and relationship workshops, when I do my law of attraction workshops, my manifesting workshops, you'll always hear me reference this book. The reason is because you have a behavior that your nervous system does. It's called the emotional refractory period. Okay? Not to be confused with another kind of refractory period. Oh, we got serious all of a sudden. Pull the stick out! What stick? In that book, Ekman defines a behavior known as the emotional refractory period. Let me ask a question. How many people here have ever been in an argument with somebody? Cool. How many people here have ever been in an argument with somebody? They resolve the argument. And then, for the next 10, 15, 20 minutes, anything you say pisses them off again. It's like, he knows exactly what to say to piss me off. Don't you hate that shit? Why does that happen? Remember the three brains? When you experience an emotional shift, your nervous system changes. Okay, it starts at the reptile brain, goes to the emotional brain, and goes to every other part. What happens is, each of those emotions that you have is like a little life form. And it wants to go on as long as it can. It wants to exist in the body as long as it can. And so what your nervous system will literally do is it will tweak your perceptual filters. It will tweak what you consciously and unconsciously pay attention to, and will only bring your attention, only bring into your conscious awareness the things that reinforce or re-trigger the state, the emotional state you're already in. Okay? Each emotional state that you experience has a half-life, for lack of a better word, during which time the person you're dealing with is highly predisposed to finding anything that will reactivate and reinforce the state. That goes for love as well as anger. Every emotion works this way. Okay? You don't get a 2-minute warning that you're about to get pissed off. Somebody cut you off in traffic, you get this little 30-second warning, warning, you're about to get pissed off, warning, warning. Doesn't work that way. You don't realize you've had an emotional shift until you're in it. By then it's sometimes too late. Okay? But if you understand the dynamics that are at play, when these things happen, you can make better choices on how to behave. You can make better choices on how to manage yourself. So you do the things that aren't going to make the situation worse and can significantly make it better. Guys, I'm going to teach you how to double the intimacy, connection, and oftentimes the sexual frequency in your relationship. Whenever your wife does something and she gets pissed off at you, look her right in the eyes and with the absolute highest level of sincerity say, honey, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Okay? We're going to get into the dynamics of arguing in a minute, but by and large, that'll go a long way. Okay? For those of you who want to really practice some serious relationship conversational ninjutsu, pick up a book called Talk to Me Like I'm Someone You Love. Now think about this. Play this movie in your head. You and your significant other are having a knockdown, drag-out fight. At one point, when you're about to reach your emotional crescendo, she looks at you and she says, or he looks at you and says, please, talk to me like I'm someone you love. It'll piss them off because it'll take the steam right out. It's a conversational reframe. Okay? That changes the perspective, changes the dynamic. That's one example of some of the things you'll find in that book, and I have them listed by context. Keep in mind that when we're in the throes of the emotion, and I've never taught this part, when we're in the throes of the emotional refractory period, we need to change context. We need to change the perception, our perceptual position in the communication. Phrases like, please talk to me like I'm someone you love. Because for all intents and purposes, if they're in a relationship with you, shouldn't they? Right? But we don't. Sometimes we treat our significant others the worst of all the people we know. It's just weird that way. Okay? I'm no different. My first marriage was a lot of practice and a lot of mistakes. Right? But we learn. So keep in mind that emotional states it all comes down to feelings, and it all comes down to awareness. I threw that out there just to kind of, because I wanted to give you guys some insight into, I'm going to give you one more neuroscience tidbit for relationship management. Neurologically, this is not David's chauvinistic side coming out, my misogynist side, although I have one. It's back here somewhere. But neurologically speaking, when a woman gets stressed out, she gets progressively more detail-oriented. The technical term is bitchy, picky, nasty, right? She makes big deals out of little shit from our perspective. They all do it. They all do it. It's just a question of how they express it. Okay? So, here's the thing you want to do, and we're going to be talking about body language. We're actually getting into body language. And the first principle you need to understand when we start looking at body language is you have to be able to measure change. First thing you need in order to be able to measure change is, hey, you got to be looking for change. It means you need to be aware. You need to be out of your head and in the world paying attention to what goes on in front of you. Okay? Not waiting for her to stop talking so you can say what you were going to say next. Or vice versa, because we both do it. Both genders manipulate each other. Get over it. It's just how it works. But what you also need is you need something to measure against. You need a baseline. You need to know, is it getting better? Is it getting worse? What am I measuring against? That's the fundamental principle of kinesic interview and interrogation, which I studied. I'm a licensed acupuncturist here in the state of California. I'm a master trainer. or a master practitioner and trainer in neuro-linguistic programming. I'm a master hypnotist. I've authored over 15 different programs on various forms of persuasion and influence and communication. Okay? My specialty in the clinic is, like I told you before, dealing with physiological illness that has as its root repressed emotion. I was joking with a lady back here that she says she's going to fill my quota for weight loss patients. Well, actually, I did have a quota, but I lifted it just for her because she's special that way. But I don't get those smoke cessation. That's not what comes to me. I get everything else. I get the really cool stuff, right? But nobody's in my chair because of feelings they're expressing. Nobody's in my chair because of feelings they're consciously aware of. Okay? I have a little bit of experience dealing with this stuff. I'm also an energy healer. Okay? I have a master's degree in Oriental medicine. I'm a certified Reiki master. I've been doing Reiki since before Reiki was cool. Okay? Right? I'm a certified pranic healer and pranic psychotherapist. This is the part my daughter hates because this is where the laundry list comes out. I'm a certified DNA and advanced DNA theta healer, and I've just got certified in the Bankston energy healing method, which is amazingly cool. And I'm probably going to do some workshops on that. Bankston energy method. Don't get me started on that. I'll do a different meetup on that. But you've heard my pickup pedigree, right? I'm also a high-level martial artist. I've been doing all kinds of Qigong, martial arts for most of my life. Yes, somebody had a question?
No, the system, right? System is that one you practice?
I do, Systema is the most recent one. Okay, but I've been doing Aiki Jiu-Jitsu, Kyusho, Jitsu, which is an art that deals with attacking and manipulating the acupuncture points of the body for self-defense. You can also use them for other things too. But that's a different class. Well, this is actually closer to the class of martial arts. But my point, I guess, is that you need to be aware. You need to kind of see the matrix, and that's kind of where I want to go. So this is what I bring to it. When I was deciding to go to acupuncture school, I was torn. Do I go into healthcare or law enforcement? My dream was to be a criminal profiler. I just wanted to be the guy that got inside people's heads and figured shit out. So I aced my kinesic interview and interrogation classes, and as I continued to do my research in how much money healthcare people make, the life expectancy of the average law enforcement person, I chose healthcare. But I never lost my passion for observing humanity and trying to understand them. For me. Turns out that a lot of the stuff I solve for me, I can help you with. Here's where we're going. Every human being on the planet, man and woman, has what I call hardwired within them the mating dance. Okay? Their body language falls into two basic categories in the world according to David. You have genetically hardwired body language cues. And then you have socially programmed, culturally programmed gestures. You walk down any street in America and do this, show them your driving finger, and you will get a specific response. You go to other countries, you do this, it doesn't have the same effect. True, not true, right? I don't waste my time. Not that they're important, not that they're irrelevant. I don't waste my time on culturally specific gestures because they're not nearly as useful as the ones every human being on the planet has. The process I'm going to share with you now is hardwired into every human being on the planet. And there's a lot of mojo going on. I'm going to ask one of the ladies to come up and assist me in it. Not yet. She's a little excited. We're going to walk through these stages. And I actually have a video clip from another meetup where I taught these stages. And one of the interesting things that I started the meetup off with, I taught you about feelings. I taught you about being playful, right? I told you everyone on the planet has a checklist, right? Starts with being aware, starts with understanding what you're seeing. We started with a state control exercise. Now, in the world according to David, in all of my courses, you can't get to my advanced courses until you've been vetted on your ability to go in and out of any emotional state like that. Okay? I gave you a little tiny taste of it. We have a 3-day attraction workshop coming up. We will go very, very deep. into that. Okay? But when we assume a certain physiology, the brain pays attention. We go into the feeling states, we go into the perceptual filters, that emotional refractory period I talked about. Remember I said, when your emotional state changes, your perceptions change. You ever try to talk somebody who's in love with somebody out of it? Right? You ever try to point out all the flaws that that person has? Bing, bing, bing. Not so much, right? Welcome to the wonderful world of the emotional refractory period. For those of you who may not be able to relate to that, I'll ask you give you another quick example. How many people here have ever bought a car? Cool. How many people here actually bought a new car? Like really new? Oh, I got to teach you guys how to make more money. Okay. But maybe it was new for you, right? That's me. It's new for me, right? But you figure out what kind of car you want. You read all the reports. You read all the reviews. You go from dealership to dealership to dealership, making sure they have the exact car you want in the exact color. You haggle back and forth, and then one day you make that decision to purchase. And you buy your car. You get in the car. You're driving home. Maybe you got the radio cranking. And you look around, and every motherfucker on the planet bought the same car on the same day. What's up with that? Emotional refractory period. Okay? I used to play a game called Punch Buggy. You guys remember that game? That's where you get to honestly beat up your friend. You drive around in the back seat looking for all the Volkswagen Beetles, and every time you saw one, you saw it before your friend did, you get to smack them. And for the next 20 minutes after that game's over, you're seeing punch bugs everywhere, right? Slugs bug, right? It's the same process. What we see, our reality, the things that we pay attention to, the things that we ignore, are based on our emotional states. If you want somebody to see only the best in you, put them in a really freaking good state. Right? But there's a flip side. If I can put you in a certain physiology for a long enough period of time, you will go into the feelings. And the interesting thing, and I'm front-loading it because I don't know if it'll happen this time, but one of the last times I demoed this, I had a lady up, and we're talking about the 7 stages. I call it the mating dance. And as you watch the video, you systematically see her falling in love with me as we're describing and discussing each of the body language positions. And every female in the audience was cheering for her. One of the ladies says, "This is the best chick flick I've seen in weeks." Right? My point is that we have a feedback loop between our emotions and our body. We can use one to affect the other. If you're one of those people who suffers from chronic depression, look at the physiologies and the postures you spend the most time in. I guarantee you rock your shoulders back, you put your head up, it's impossible to stay depressed. But we sit in cubicles most of the day, we drive for a living, so we're kind of like this. What's the body language of depression? Who knew? It's right in front of you the whole time. Nobody showed you. You weren't paying attention to it. So if you want to come on up. And I need two cups. Can someone give me 2 cups, please? Phyllis, you can sit.
Am I going to fall in love with you now?
You're already in love with me. You just haven't realized it yet.
How did you know?
Me! It was a clue. What's your name again, sweetie?
Yelena.
Yelena. Oh, I love that. It's so Russian. Is it Russian or?
Belarusian.
Belarusian. I stand corrected. All right. So, if I go to Belarus and I'm sitting in a bar, this will work. If I go to Mexico and I'm sitting in a bar, I'll need a machete and an M16, but it'll still work. If I go to Africa, in a grass hut where they're serving grog or something, it'll work. Why? These processes are hardwired into us. So there are 7 stages. I call it the mating dance. They are body language stages that take you from stranger to intimacy. Once you understand them, you can look at any couple, understand their posture, an orientation and know what stage of the relationship they're at on their way from stranger to intimacy. Once you understand it, you'll know what to do when. Because this is where guys screw everything up. Not because they want to, but because they don't understand the psychology that drives this. In 80% of this process that you're going to see me acting out with Elena, well, we're not acting out, we're going to dissect it, and I'm going to explain it. 80% of the time, she's leading the dance. Okay? Now there's a few key things. Oh, I didn't finish that open loop about the pickiness part, right? The more stressed out a woman gets, the pickier she gets. Ladies, the more stressed out a guy gets, the more global he gets, the more vague he becomes. This is why you have these knockdown, drag-out fights. It's because you're getting really specific because you're stressed. He doesn't want to hear it. And he tells you, stop making such a big deal out of shit. Okay? The way you work with that is you have to calibrate a baseline. You have to know what the average pickiness level of your spouse or significant other is and calibrate the change. And if you notice a level of pickiness going up, you'll know right away that they're more stressed without ever having to say anything, and you can change your behavior accordingly. None of this information is going to do you any good unless you do two things. Pay attention and do something different. Everything I teach comes down to that. Okay? Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Now, the first thing that's going to happen when we go to approach, once we get past our terror of approaching another human being, face forward, please. So this is the average hunting posture for the man in a bar. Right? She's sitting there.
I've never done bars. I don't go. It's
Me
my
either.
first time.
Oh, first time?
Yes.
So then she's more. Right? But the average, now again, we're going to talk about some fundamentals. If you can imagine that if two people are back to back, these are their backs, they're back to back. What we have here is a case of zero rapport. These people are moving away from each other. Got that? In fact, Elena, come on up here. Come over here. We'll do this, we'll just act this out real quick so you can understand it. Oh, I got hooked on you. No pun intended. So if we're back to back this way, this is zero rapport. This is no connection whatsoever. We're moving in different directions. Okay? As we go through the mating dance, two things changes. Orientation and proximity. So, when the mating dance starts, we may be in this position. More often than not, we'll either be like this, which is always a bad idea. But more often than not, it'll be like this. Why is this important? The orientation tells you who the seeker in the process is. When a guy approaches a woman at the bar, who has more frontal orientation, me or her?
You.
Therefore, big picture, she has more value in the relationship than I do. Already. Because I'm seeking her. Now, whether she's because she's attractive, she's wealthy, she's blah, 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 doesn't matter. For whatever, the very natural aspect of this orientation tells us who the seeker in the relationship is. If I'm standing like this and a woman comes up to me, it's the same dynamic, right? It's the posture and it's the position and orientation that are important. As people move from stranger to friendship to intimacy, the proximity will change. They will not be linear. So you will see this, all right, so you see this. That's the big picture. And then that. You all are naughty.
David, I did not understand why you said more value.
More value, because what happens is we are hardwired to seek people who make us feel good about us. But on a reptilian or a primal level, we are trained to sort for people who have greater health, greater resources, or the potential for it. Okay? The way the reptilian brain of a male judges health is beauty. A certain height-weight ratio. Okay? Ladies have different criteria. Neurologically, you sort differently. Okay? In fact, while I'm doing this, at the risk of distracting you, maybe we can have Tracy hand out the workshop handouts, and then we'll talk about that later. So go sit down again. So that's the big picture, but now we want to understand the nuances. If she's facing directly forward, this is what's usually going to happen. If this were a bar or a cocktail table or something at like a wedding reception or something, she's more or less going to have this orientation. However, as she sees me approach, this is going to be fun. But she actually did the first stage. It's called acknowledgement. She went from this to this. See the subtle shift? When she looked at me, she turned her shoulders just a teeny bit. That's the acknowledgement stage. When she looks at me and gives me the acknowledgement stage, there's something else I'm going to look for. A, does she give me positive eye contact? And B, does she give me an unconscious hello or the death gaze? The unconscious hello is an eyebrow flash. If I look at you and go, hey, how you doing? You want to see the head go like that? Every mammal on the planet does it. Okay, it signals friend. If you ever walk up to somebody and say hi and they go, you're like, oh shit. Things shrivel, right? But when they walk up to you and go, hey, how you doing? Or you go up to them and they go, hi, how you doing? And they go like that back, you feel better. It's unconscious. It happens in a fraction of a second. It's a micro expression that all mammals share. So as I approach, I'm going to look her in the eyes. There's the smile. You can always tell the real smile. See the little, turn sideways. See the little crinkles? Yeah. It might be hard to see in the back of the room, but that's how you know it's an honest smile. And trust me, this is a big one. You walk up to a woman and she goes, hi, how you doing? She's either had way too much fucking Botox, or she's just pretending, brother. When you make an approach, when you approach anyone, the first thing, man or woman, doesn't matter, the first thing you want, the first thing body language cue that you look for, positive eye contact. Positive eye contact has to be looking in the eyes, has to be a genuine smile. The genuine smile always has a Duchenne, what's called a Duchenne smile. These little muscles in and around the sides of the face will crinkle up. Okay? That means, come talk to me. Doesn't mean I'm going to sleep with you. Doesn't mean it from guy speak. Doesn't mean I'm going to bang you like a screen door. No, it doesn't work that way. Right? It means, okay, come talk to me. Show me what you got. Right? Now, if she looks at me and gives me the death gaze, I'm walking towards her and I see this, there'll be a tendency to stop. You'll pretend things didn't just shrivel. Right? Guys, ladies, deal with it. You make a shrivel. It's just the way it works. Okay? You just do that and we're done. Right? But let's suppose that this is a very average, no offense, very normal interaction. As I approach, she's going to look at me. She's going to give me a slight turn. She'll probably smile. That's stage one. Means, okay, I see you. She's acknowledged your presence. Come and talk to me. If she gives you the positive eye contact and the honest smile, you're golden. Okay? The next stage, and again, and let me just, I'm gonna go through my notes so I don't miss anything for you. Is that okay? Thank you. Glad you approve. Actually, I just covered it all, didn't I? I'm better than I thought. All right. And by the way, the other thing you can add in there, if you're close enough to see, do her pupils dilate? But regardless of whether her pupils dilate when you approach, as you approach, now you notice I'm still in a relatively safe space. I'm not in here. I'm not in her bubble because I haven't been invited in. She will invite you. You just got to know what to look for. Remember, from the acknowledgement stage forward, the woman is leading the dance. You got to get the cojones up to actually get to acknowledgement. You get acknowledgement, you go to stage two. Stage two is called the pivot stage. In the pivot stage, now let's say I have a drink. I'm going to be Joe Cool. Okay? As I move into stage, I'm going to set my drink. See what she did already? See how she moved her drink closer?
Oh.
Almost like I planned it. That's the pivot stage. She turns a little bit. She orients her drink a little bit closer. That's stage 2.
So if I did not like it, if I did not like you, it would be still here somewhere, right?
It's more likely you would be more like, because remember what we said about the orientation? You can always tell if someone's into the conversation or not, or whether they're just fighting the urge to chew off a limb to get away. And the reason, yes?
Is it the same for a guy? Like if she was the guy and you were the girl? Same dynamic?
I'm going to say yes,
Okay.
but the man will still have to follow the lead. This is one of those things where nature has decided that this is the gender's job and that's what they got to do. Right? Now, if a woman approaches me at a bar, I'm more likely to turn and face her, and I'll probably rocket through the pivot stage really quick because I'm a guy and that's how we do it. Right? But a woman has got to have a few more barriers, no pun intended, barriers to entry than the guys. And it's important to understand this. Okay, there are many more social ramifications to her sexuality than men. Now, a lot of that's changing, but I'm going to be very traditional, very Humphrey Bogart, Red Butler-ish. Deal with that. That's just my generation. Yes. And by the way, guys, especially if you're under the age of 30, go watch those old movies, and you will be attractive like a rock star. Because our culture is systematically emasculating our men. And women are starving. Starving.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm done. Okay, so I move to communicate with her. She orients to me. See, that's all it needs. That's all it is. It's that subtle. Just often. It's that subtle. Okay? Now, she even moved her glass closer. She actually moved it closer. She went to stage 3 on me. Now, you probably didn't see it, but basically what happened is she actually moved her physical body over and reached and touched me a little bit.
I did?
You
Where?
moved. You watch the video, you'll see it. Did you guys see it? You guys saw it? Okay. So now, this is the key for stage 3. It's called the reaching stage. Now, in reaching stage, you're going to see this come in a few different varieties. Sometimes she'll just move her drink closer. Sometimes she'll pick up her napkin, set it down, and as she sets it down, she'll move it closer. She'll adjust her handbag. She might adjust her sweater and move in. Here's the secret, guys. A woman will never make this obvious. It will never be accidental. But it may very well be unconscious. She will do these things and not consciously realize many times, like you saw Elena here. She didn't realize she did it. You have to. You have to be paying attention because it's the speed at which we recognize the cues that tells us how well we're doing, and the speed at which, ready for this, we do them back. That determines how fast you create intimacy, connection, and communication. Okay? It's all about paying attention, knowing the stage, knowing what to do. 5 times out of 10. 5 times out of 7, sorry, because there's 7 stages. It's just doing it back. Exactly the same way, at exactly, roughly the same time, give or take a few seconds.
So you mirror.
Yes. That's how your nervous system is wired. Watch 2 people who are in deep rapport, they're standing the same way. They're right next to each other. Oh, I'm glad I'm on video. Okay. But again, the whole point is that now stage 3 is critical because it's when you have the reaching stage that you start to have genuine attraction. Up until then, it can be curiosity, it can be politeness. But when you get reaching, that's the first sign that there's actual attraction being generated. Okay? You get to go to stage 4 next. And again, what you'll see, and again, if she has her drink, I have my drink, they'll just start to move closer and closer together. Right? Now it's interesting, she's having ball, you're having fun with her. Okay, is she having a ball or what? Right? And all we're doing is mimicking stuff. Right? She's all giggly. Right? My point is that that's what we want to do. We want to match, we want to mirror. And I had a student in one of my very first mastermind groups. I run a professional mastermind skill building group. It's not a certification track, but it's for people who want to use advanced communication skills, persuasion technologies to come in and kind of spot, troubleshoot aspects of their life. We do it on the third Saturday of every month. Cynthia's a member. I think Jaime's been to one of them. And who else is, I don't see anybody else who's been there. But we get together and we work for 4 hours to make sure you leave with the skills that get you the results you want. I had a student, her name's Tammy. She owned a wine bar. And I started teaching the 7 stages, and she looked at me like, oh my God, you are so right. I watched people when they come into my bar. And at the beginning of the night, she's sitting on one bend, he's sitting on the other, and by the end of the night, their glasses are like that. Remember, guys, you got to pay attention to subtleties. A woman is going to go out of her way to not appear like she's doing anything deliberately. It's always deliberate. It may not always be conscious. Their job, their lifestyle is subtlety. Okay? We're Cro-Magnon men. We beat things over the head till it stops moving. Okay? We're Incredible Hulks in a Black Widow world. Anyway. But just mirroring as we talk. Look at her. See the head tilt? Right? Now when you reach stage 4, this is where you're going to get into a trouble spot for guys. And that's the touching stage. She's already touched me, so we're actually technically past stage 4. But we're not going there yet.
You just touched me.
See what she just did? I went like this, she went like that. Yes, I touched her. She touched me back. So I guess the answer to your question is yes, it works the other way too. But my point is there will be reciprocity to what you do. The problem is here's where guys lose it. They think that the moment they have some kind of a physical contact, it's okay to go for the kiss. Or, as some guys think, go for the boob. No, not a good idea. Okay? The secret to this, if you watch what I did when I touched her and she touched me, do that again.
I did like that.
I did exactly like that back.
Mm.
Oh.
Mm.
What'd that feel like? I like you.
I like you too.
See, now she's mirroring my words, right? This is the secret. It's hidden. You've seen this a million times. Hell, you've probably been through it a million times and not realized it. The secret here now is at the touching stage, all she's really done is said, I like you, I'm comfortable with you, I think there's something here. Let's see what happens when I touch. Are you safe to touch? The secret here, guys, is you've been given permission to touch only the way she's touched you. And where? You see her melt when I gave her touch back? That's what she's sorting for. Guys, you're sorting for it too. We're just a little bit more brutal, right? So the whole idea here now is she feels just from the touch, she feels tremendously more comfortable with me.
Okay, so I have a question. So what if she did not touch you back?
I don't do anything. I stop and stay where I'm at until it changes. You see, the problem isn't that it's not working. It's the variable is time. The variable is always time. You may even notice you're going back down the arousal scale. You may notice at some point she actually kind of sits back and gives a little distance. Guess what happened?
Should the guy ever touch first?
Huh?
Should the guy ever touch first?
A lot of pickup artists will tell you to do that because you're trying to accelerate a natural process. I'll say no. Not at this point. There are ways that you can trick people into doing keynote. There's ways to alpha people. You see, the thing about social status is it gives us the ability to pass people's boundaries without as much resistance. And so when a pickup artist is teaching you to go for the touch, What they're actually teaching you to do is demonstrate authority in that person's world. Okay? And that's okay. That's a very, very powerful attraction generator. I don't want to go there because it can blow up in your face. Right? I want to make it idiot-proof. I want to make it safe. I know that if I happen to touch her, and it does happen by accident, that you brush her, and she brushes you or something like that, and she doesn't jump or whatever, or she mimics it back, we're connecting. We're going forward, right? But this is, again, where you'll see the next transition. But this is one of those places that, one of the times I was teaching a full hypnotic attraction workshop, I was walking through these 4 stages. I said, and now the woman's touched you. What do you do? And every guy in the place goes, kiss her! I said, no. No. It's not time. But this is the biggest sticking point. Guys try to touch too quick. They touch in the wrong place. And they think it's time to kiss. No. What you've been given is you basically have the acknowledgement, okay, I feel comfortable, relatively comfortable and safe with you now. The touch is to see what you'll do. Right? Sometimes a woman will drop a sexually explicit remark just to see what you'll do about it. Take sex off the table. You do this right, she's going to put it back on. Why? You're matching her criteria. You're matching her rules. You're figuring out exactly in her world what makes it okay to feel that way and about somebody and act on it. Instead of trying to ramrod, no pun intended, ramrod your criteria and what you want into her life and hope it fits. Right? You want a match. Key to lock. She's going to show you exactly what to do. She's going to show you. Can't not happen. And you may stay at the reaching stage for 10, 15, 20 minutes. You may rocket right through them. I guarantee you, if you're aware of these stages and you do them properly, you will move through it way fast. Yes?
How does a handshake fit in there?
A handshake, you have to, again, same principle. If she's shaking your hand, it's a very formal thing, right? I watch groups all the time when strangers meet, and boys and girls don't usually shake hands unless there's some kind of a formal thing going on, right?
Business,
Yeah, so there's an aloofness there, right? But once you get in the conversational dynamic, this stuff will start to happen. It can be actually work in a business context as well, even if it's not a seduction. As somebody feels more and more comfortable with a client or with a coach or whatever, these stages will start to manifest to a greater or lesser degree. The seduction continuum, the movement from stranger to complete intimacy, is the model of all social interaction. We start at zero rapport, not having any connection whatsoever, and we seek connection. Right? That's the model. Whether it's a sales interaction, a teaching interaction, we got to connect. Human beings are hardwired to search for connection, and it leaves cues, it leaves indicators. It's just our socialization, our level of preoccupation. We don't see the matrix, but we are the victims of it. Okay? I'm teaching you to see the matrix. That rabbit hole goes really deep. But if you just did nothing but take the playfulness aspects I'm sharing with you, and understanding 60% of all approaches are initiated by females, and they're going to do it by proximity. You know to sort for positive eye contact. You're going to be much more confident when you go up and talk to them, because you're going to know before you get there she actually wants to speak with you. Ladies, if you realize that we're dumb as rocks, we don't understand, the things you're doing are very, very obvious to you. The things you're doing are very, very obvious to the other women around you. They are not obvious to us. So you have to change, because we're stupid. And when we're stupid in the best ways. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say pretty much 99% of the guys in this room are good people. They're deserving people. They're loving people. They're people that you would like to have in your life. But the behaviors and the rituals that you've been working with will keep most of them at bay. unless you're willing to become more aware, unless you're willing to do something different. And it starts with just understanding, learning to see, and being willing to do something different. Okay? So, one of the things that we've gotten through the touching stage, so now we're kind of a pair. Almost. I can still screw it up. Trust me, I've done it. Okay? Okay. I'm really good at doing all my notes from memory. It's pretty cool. Now, the next space is where the guy kind of has to man up a little bit. Right? How many people ever watch National Geographic? Right? You ever watch those stupid documentaries on birds? Where the freaking male bird spends all summer building a nest. Beautiful nest. Steals everything from every house on the planet. Got a few shoelaces, some tin foil, a little shag carpet. Got the little matchbox, the little Barbie stereo in the corner going pow, 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 pow. So what does he do? He hangs out outside the nest, right? Waiting for Barbie bird comes shooting by. What does Barbie bird do? Does she go rushing right in and move in? She goes, no, let's see what you got. No, let's see. You got a bathroom. That bedroom looks kind of big. What do you got in mind, boy? The kitchen's not bad. You know what? Oh, wait. Is that a Mercedes in the garage? And she moves right in. Seen that on National Geographic or something similar, right? Anybody here ever remember those old 1950s movies? Probably not. You're not as old as me, right? But you know how they spoof the old dating scenario? Guy takes his girl out to a movie for the first date, and they're walking down the aisle. They sit down. They got the popcorn. The movie goes down. He's she's like, please. And she's like, right?
Oh my God.
I couldn't telegraph it anymore. See your move? It's called the snuggle space. What do I do at this point? This is where you have to man up. This is where you create a space. And she either moves in or she doesn't. Look at her. She's actually, you're fighting it, aren't you?
What?
You're fighting the... How did he know? She's actually fighting the urge to...
No, I'm not.
No, you're not.
No.
See her blinking? That's a lie. But that's one of the few points in the process where the man has to do something different. If I create the snuggle space, she moves in, we're off and running. Now she's basically said, okay, I'm with you. Yes? Oh. No, any touching is incidental, but basically all I'm just creating a space and seeing how quickly or how slowly she moves into it. She may not move into it very fast, which means she's not ready. Doesn't mean you take it away. It means you continue the conversation. Now you notice most of the time I'm spending talking to you, but what happens when I actually focus my attention? You see this? She knows it's a demo. You sure? There it goes. The snuggle space. This is where you got to man up. Okay? And this is what actually shows you're the right kind of alpha. Okay? Because you're socially aware. You're socially adept. That gives you status in her eyes. Okay? Okay, we're coming in on 9:30. I got to rush a little bit, I guess. Next phase, and she started to do it. It's a little rough because of the way the table's set up. So just stand up for just a second, sweetie. No, on the floor, yeah. So I'm going to give yourself a little bit of room. So just sit back a little bit. Now, what will happen here is once we're back in the snuggle space, she's right there. What will actually start to happen now is her orientation will start to change.
It will?
It will start to move this way. This would be the minor synchronization stage. Now, what will also happen here, she's like jumping up and down under the table. If I take a drink, she'll take a drink. Or she'll try. Right? If I adjust, or she'll tend to mirror and mimic my movements. But we're almost facing. She's actually still a little bit more forward because of the orientation.
Probably would
That's
do
right.
like something
You're
like
not doing it
that.
wrong. Yeah, that's exactly right. See how we're almost facing one another. This is minor synchronization. Minor synchronization. Okay, if I were sitting, we'd have the same basic physiology, and almost face to face. Okay, now I'm in the snuggle space. We're here. See how she wants to turn, right? And now she wants to go to stage 6 or stage 7. And now the disco music plays, and that's full synchronization. And at this point, at pretty much any point after the snuggle space, it's a little bit of a judgment call, when to go for the kiss. But what you look for, massive pupil dilation, head tilts. Okay, the lower lip will protrude like Angelina Jolie on whatever that is they put in there. Okay, this collagen shots. You'll see this pouty look. She'll tend to look at your lips, by the way, too. These are all things that let you know it's time. Of course, that begs the question, what do you say to the woman to get her to go through all this stuff, right? Do you need a microphone? No. There's actually a very, very explicit system that I teach that takes you, no pun intended, from soup to nuts. Everything both men and women need to know. In fact, I'm probably the only trainer now that's actually teaching attraction workshops that are designed to be men and women in the same room together, practicing. Not that. That's a different class. But what we got coming up February 6th, 7th, and 8th, just in time. What do you think? February 6th, 7th, and 8th, we have a 3-day rapid attraction secrets workshop. We're going to take you not just through these 7 stages, we're going to teach you exactly how to approach, how to be approached, how to make sure that the image that you're sending out matches the one you have inside, how to interpret the body language of the opposite sex so you know what those gestures mean, so you can make the best decision possible. We're going to teach you 2 separate conversational frameworks that will generate attraction in a man or a woman in 20 minutes, in as little as 20 minutes, and keep them hooked on you for as long as you want. And that's just the beginning of what we're going to do. Okay? It is not fair, but all's fair in love and war. Right? And the beautiful part is not only will you get all your crap handled, because I'll show you how to blow out limiting beliefs, I'll show you how to get all those pictures in your head of the people who broke your heart and left you to die. I'll show you how to get rid of that shit once and for all. And we'll go even deeper into how to make sure that the image you convey, your personal branding, you'll have more confidence, you'll have more awareness, you'll have more understanding. You'll learn how to become the most fascinating person in the room. Now, if you look at your Rapid Attraction Sheets workshop, which I don't have, so I'm just going to, by the way, give Elena a big round of applause. She was wonderful. It's okay for you to be on video, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You asked me after.
Yeah.
Question. So the situation in the bar,
Mhm.
a woman doesn't like approach her. Which is a polite way to kind of like get rid of
Depends
it?
on the degree of the interaction. A lot of times you can go, oh, there's my friends. I have to go. You can say, you know what? This is a really great conversation. Let's continue it. Give me your email. Now, why? Because you want to turn the guy down, but you don't want to destroy his self-esteem. Like, most guys are nice guys. Most women are nice women. They don't want to be bitches, but they don't have any other choice because they don't know anything different. So find ways to say no without destroying their self-esteem. You want more guys to approach? Don't destroy them when they do. Right? And it's not that you mean to do it. And correct me if I'm wrong. It's not that you mean to do it. Some of you do. But it's that there's a gap. They're not getting the message. They're not getting the hint. So you need to step it up a little bit. right? But you can ask them, you can say, they're my friends, excuse me, I need to go get my drink. You can, anything that extricates you, there's my friends, let's take this on, let's continue this discussion in email. That's a very, very easy way to put up some safety, get some distance, and not be a bitch, and still, maybe, they'll do something later that vindicates themselves. You know, little things that you can do. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Elena. Give her a round of applause.
Thank you.
Big round of applause for Elena. So yeah, normally what I do when I'm creating a workshop or a product line, I do a lot of business on the internet. So you guys are my guinea pigs. I test a lot of things. I see the results that people get, and we're getting ready to launch the Rapid Attraction Secrets program on a much larger scale. And when we do, that program is going to be $2,000 for the same 3 days. So what I'd like to do, because you guys are my friends, because you sat through my amazingly boring conversational persuasion, I'd like to give you guys a gift. You'll notice if you look all the way down at the bottom of your sheet, it says, yes, David, enroll me today for the special, and again, save $200, you get the entire workshop for $750. I'm going to go one better. Nah, maybe I won't. Here's what I'm going to do. Anybody who sees Tracy tonight and enrolls in that workshop, February 6th, 7th, and 8th, you get the entire 3 days, the entire training, and I trust, and there's a couple of guys here. Jim just been through it. Steven has just been through my Beyond Hypnosis personal. They'll tell you, it's intense. The things they come out, you'll wind up with superpowers. I mean, you really will. You get the entire 3 days, $350. But you got to sign up tonight before you leave.
When is the next one? I want to come.
If you want to know what other trainings we have coming up, you can go to NLP. I'll put it on the board. NLPpower.com/events. And that has my tentative training calendar for the entire year. And I teach everything from hypnotherapy. I certify people in neuro-linguistic programming. One of the things, I'm a little stupid sometimes. I'm a little slow. I was offering workshops for like 2 or 3 years before I realized that not everybody wanted to be a hypnotherapist.
I do.
One, and in a room of 100 people, right? And then I realized that the people who come to my workshops fall into one of 3 categories. First of all, NLPpower.com. And by the way, the video for tonight's event, give me a few days to edit it. It will be available for you to watch online at NLPpower.com. That's my gift. Okay? If you want to join the site, there's no charge. You set up your free account, and then you'll have access to some extra videos and stuff like that. Okay? NLPpower.com/events.
And this video will be available for everyone or just this group?
Well, for a while it will be available to everyone, and then it will go into the members-only section, and only people who actually have created their account will be able to access it. That's usually what I do, is I leave certain videos free to the public. Others, they're free to the public for a certain amount of time, and then they go into the members-only area. Others never go to the public. They go right into product. That's kind of how I do things. Okay? So NLPpower.com/events. So my demographic falls into 3 categories. Obviously, the first one is people who, actually I do it like this. There's people who want to fix their own shit. Right? These are people who want to do it themselves. I create courses and trainings for that. That's what Beyond Self-Hypnosis, Secrets of Personal Mastery was this past weekend. It was about people who wanted to learn how to use NLP, hypnosis, and other energy modalities to fix their own life, to do it themselves. That, by and large, is most of us. There's a smaller segment who wants me to fix their shit. Okay? For that, come see Tracy. Got the 30-minute free consultation. If you're a match for what I do, and I'll be honest with you, not everybody is. If you're a match, I'll tell you, I'll outline some strategies about how we can go about getting you the results you want in your life. If I can't, I'll tell you that too, and I'll point you in another direction. I'll point you to some resources, some books, another trainer, another coach, another therapist, whatever it is you need. I'll do that because that's what I do. I'm here to do 2 things in this life. To eliminate as much suffering as humanly possible, and to show you what's possible for you. To show you what's possible, I have to be willing to demonstrate what's possible. That's just the way I roll. So if you fit in that area, see Tracy, get on the schedule. For those of you who want to fix other people's shit, which I like to call a special kind of stupid. We have a whole bunch of certifications and trainings coming up. You're more than welcome to ask about those. The next big one that I'm promoting, and then we're starting an early bird enrollment for, is the Real World Hypnosis and Hypnotherapy certification. It's a 5-day training. It'll be here in this building, in the room next door. It's 9 to 6, Monday through Friday. Or not Monday, Monday through Friday? I don't know. It's March 17th through the 21st, 9 to 6. And you will learn some of the most amazing ways to help other people on the planet. This is stuff I use every day clinically. So if it's something you know you want to do, I'm happy to answer any questions. We're doing an early bird for that right now. Again, my regular classes are anywhere from $2,000 and up. If you want to enroll in that, it's $950, and that expires on February 15th. I do ask a couple of things. A, if you had a great time, if you learned a lot, please post good things to the meetup. If you didn't have a good time, if I bored the pants off you, please post to somebody else's meetup. Thank you very much. We'll see you.